Some cars fall apart the moment the warranty expires. These are not those cars. Today we're counting down 10 Japanese sedans from 10 completely different brands that owners are still running past 200,000, 300,000, even 400,000 miles with nothing more than basic maintenance. A few of these names will shock you. One of them, almost nobody talks about anymore. And the number one pick is going to surprise absolutely no one, and for very good reason. Let's get into it. Number 10, Suzuki Kizashi. Let's start with the one that almost nobody saw coming, Suzuki Kizashi. And if you just did a double take at the name, that's exactly the problem, and exactly why this car is such a remarkable used buy right now. When Suzuki launched the Kizashi in 2010, they weren't trying to build a budget commuter. They were making a genuine run at the near-luxury mid-size segment, sport-tuned suspension, available all-wheel drive through their IAWD system, a 2.4-liter, naturally aspirated four-cylinder that revved cleanly and made 185 horsepower. For the segment in 2010, that was a competitive package. Consumer Reports rated it well during its brief lifespan. Handling was sharp, the interior punched above its class, and the mechanical package was as simple and proven as any engine Suzuki had ever produced. Naturally aspirated. No forced induction, no hybrid battery complexity, just an engine that was built to be driven and maintained and driven some more. Then Suzuki pulled out of the American market entirely in late 2012. And here's the thing that killed the brand's US future, but it did nothing to the cars themselves. The Kizashi didn't suddenly become less reliable the day the last American Suzuki dealer closed. The engines didn't know. They just kept running. What you find on owner forums for these cars is a small but intensely loyal community. People who bought them, forgot about them, and then realized 20 years later, they're still completely unwilling to let go. Parts availability is something to research before buying, but the cars are mechanically uncomplicated enough that independent shops handle them without issue. At today's prices, a clean Kizashi can be found for remarkably little money. It's the ultimate under-the-radar buy. Number 9. Mitsubishi Galant, 9th generation. The 9th generation Mitsubishi Galant holds a distinction that almost nobody talks about. It ran for 9 consecutive model years on essentially the same platform. In modern automotive terms, that is an extraordinary production run for a single generation. And here's why that matters for reliability. 9 years of building the same car means 9 years of identifying manufacturing inconsistencies, 9 years of supply chain refinement, 9 years of service bulletin responses being incorporated into the production line. By the time a 2012 Galant rolled off the factory floor, Mitsubishi had already solved every problem the 2004 model introduced. The powertrain tells the same story. The 3.8-liter V6 in the top trim Galant Mitsubishi's 6G75 engine is a large displacement, naturally aspirated unit that was never being pushed near its limits in daily use. Low stress means low wear, simple physics. Owners who find these on the used market frequently report pulling compression test results that look factory spec, well past 180,000 miles. This isn't a glamorous car. Nobody is writing enthusiast magazine tributes to the 9th gen Galant, but the forums for these cars tell a quiet, consistent story. Owners who bought them for the value proposition and then kept them because there was never a compelling reason not to. Maintenance note: the timing belt is a service item on these. Stay on schedule with it. Everything else on this car will outlast your patience for owning it. Number 8. Subaru Legacy, 4th generation. The Subaru Legacy doesn't always get mentioned in the luxury sedan conversation, but the 4th generation Legacy competed directly against entry-level luxury sedans at launch, offered standard all-wheel drive at a time when competitors charged a premium for it, and delivered a drive quality that earned consistent praise from every major automotive publication of the era. Here's the technical story worth understanding. Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive is one of the most thoroughly tested AWD systems in automotive history. It's been refined across decades of production and proved out in conditions ranging from Japanese mountain roads to American winters to international rally stages. In the Legacy, this system operates without drama, without electronic intervention anxiety, and without the complex multi-plate clutch systems that require careful maintenance in competitors. The engine in the naturally aspirated Legacy, the 2.5-liter EJ253, carries the same head gasket considerations that characterize the broader EJ25 family. The EJ251, EJ252, and EJ253 engines all share a documented vulnerability to external head gasket leaks, oil, or coolant seeping between the cylinder head and the block. These external leaks are typically less catastrophic than the internal failures seen in the earlier EJ25D engine, as they tend to develop slowly and are detectable before causing major damage. But they remain a well-known maintenance item specific to the 2000 to 2009 Legacy. Prospective buyers should verify head gasket history and check for external weeping around the block before purchase. The horizontally opposed layout keeps the center of gravity low, reduces vibration over time, and contributes to a long service life when maintained properly. Owner data consistently reflects a vehicle that rewards those who stay current on maintenance. The Subaru community is vocal, knowledgeable, and deeply invested in keeping these cars alive which means the owner forums for 4th-gen Legacy are among the most useful troubleshooting resources for any Japanese sedan on the used market. One strong note: stick with the naturally aspirated version for this list's purpose. The turbocharged GT variant is a different mechanical proposition entirely. Number 7. Mazda 6. First generation. Mazda has always built cars with a specific philosophy. Driving engagement shouldn't cost you reliability. The first generation Mazda 6 is the clearest expression of that idea applied to a mainstream sedan. The 2.3-liter, naturally aspirated 4-cylinder in the base Mazda 6 is the kind of engine that mechanics see at 200,000 miles and have almost nothing to say about. It's not complex. It doesn't run at the edge of its thermal limits. It was designed with generous tolerances and conventional architecture that any technician in the country understands. Annual maintenance cost data for these cars sits near the bottom of the segment, which is exactly where you want it on a car you're trying to run for 20 years. But here's what makes the first-gen Mazda 6 worth including on this list beyond pure reliability. It's one of the few cars in this class that still feels worth driving at 150,000 miles. The chassis was genuinely sorted. The steering communicated. It didn't feel like transportation. It felt like a vehicle that had something to say. The V6 version, a Ford-sourced 3-liter Duratec unit available in higher trims, elevates the experience further with smooth power delivery. Long-term durability is broadly positive, but prospective buyers of V6 examples should be aware of a documented pre-catalytic converter issue that can, if left unaddressed, lead to catastrophic engine damage. Owners who stay on top of that concern regularly report the powertrain remaining solid, well past 150,000 miles. The forums for first-gen Mazda 6 ownership read like a club nobody wanted to join for any particular reason, but that nobody seems willing to leave. That's the highest endorsement a daily driver can earn. Number 6. Nissan Maxima, 6th generation. Nissan called it the 4-door sports car. That's a marketing claim that's easy to roll your eyes at until you actually drive one, and then you understand that they weren't entirely wrong. The 6th generation Maxima ran Nissan's VQ45DE 3.5-liter V6, the same engine architecture that won Ward's 10 Best Engines Award for 14 consecutive years, from 1995 to 2008. That's not a single-year fluke. That's a sustained recognition that this particular engine family was the benchmark for power delivery, refinement, and durability in its displacement class, year after year. In the Maxima, the VQ45DE made 265 horsepower in the 2004 to 2006 model years, paired with either a 6-speed manual or a 5-speed automatic. For 2007 and 2008, Nissan replaced both of those transmissions with a CVT and re-rated the engine at 255 horsepower, a change that came from a new SAE testing standard, not an actual drop-in output. The manual transmission version, available only in those earlier model years, is particularly sought after on the used market for its mechanical simplicity and the connection it preserves between the driver and the drivetrain. Here's the reliability story in concrete terms. The VQ35DE in normal, maintained use is a low-stress engine. It has overhead cams and a timing chain rather than a belt, and it was engineered with far more capacity than a daily driver ever actually demands of it. Mechanics who work on high-mileage examples describe finding engines that look far younger than their odometers suggest. What owners consistently highlight on forums is a feeling of solidity that doesn't erode over time. The body stays tight. The interior, which Nissan built well in this generation, holds together at 180,000 miles in a way that makes it feel like the car is still worth caring about. And when owners feel a car is worth caring about, they maintain it, which creates a self-reinforcing cycle of longevity. Before we get into the top 5, if you're getting real value from this breakdown, hit that like button right now. It genuinely helps the channel, and it takes 1 second. Alright, top 5. Here's where the reputation gets serious. Number 5. Toyota Avalon, 3rd generation. Most people buying a 3rd generation Toyota Avalon weren't trying to make a statement. They were trying to buy the most car for the money. And it turns out that's exactly what they got. The 3.5-liter 2GR-FE V6 under the Avalon's hood is one of the most widely deployed reliable engines Toyota has ever produced, and the 3rd generation Avalon was among the very first Toyota models to use it. Debuting with the new V6 in 2005, Toyota went on to spread the same engine across the Lexus ES, the RAV4, the Camry V6, and the Sienna minivan, keeping it in production for well over a decade. When an engine ends up running that many platforms for that long, any failure mode that exists tends to surface and get corrected at manufacturing speed, and the 2GR-FE's long multi-platform run is itself the evidence of how well that early bet paid off. IC Cars data puts the Avalon's odds of reaching 200,000 miles at over 30% and rates this generation's reliability at 8.5 out of 10, among the highest scores of any large sedan the company tracks. That's not a narrow margin. These cars survive at rates that make comparable American and European alternatives look fragile by comparison. The interior is what the Avalon's owners keep coming back to in long-term reviews. Genuinely quiet cabin, real attention to material quality, a driving experience that communicates competence without effort. At today's used pricing, you're getting a vehicle that delivered Lexus ES interior quality at Camry prices and has the durability track record to keep delivering for another 100,000 miles. Number 4. Honda Accord, 7th generation. The 7th generation Honda Accord is the kind of car that reliability researchers love to cite and enthusiasts hate to admit they want. It is, by almost any measurable metric, one of the finest executions of a near-luxury daily sedan that any Japanese manufacturer has produced. The 3-liter J30A4 V6 is part of Honda's J-Series engine family, a lineage that has earned a reputation for extreme longevity across multiple Honda and Acura platforms. In the 7th Gen Accord, the J30A4 made 240 horsepower, paired with a 5-speed automatic for the 2003 to 2005 model years. Honda introduced the revised J30A5 for 2006 to 2007, boosting output to 244 horsepower. That combination has accumulated one of the most consistent, long-term durability records of any powertrain in the segment. RepairPal data for this generation of Accord puts average annual maintenance costs at figures that compete with cars half its size. Owners regularly report that the largest expense items at high mileage are tires and brake pads, not powertrain repairs. The cabin in the V6-equipped 7th Gen Accord was a step above what the nameplate is usually credited for. It featured leather seating, a refined sound system, and interior materials that hold up significantly better than those of most competitors at equivalent mileage. At 200,000 miles, a maintained 7th Gen Accord interior still presents itself well. What owners say on forums is remarkably uniform. The car becomes almost invisible as transportation. It just works every time, in all conditions, for as long as you're willing to keep maintaining it. That kind of predictable, unbroken reliability is genuinely rare. Number 3. Infiniti Q45, 1st generation. Here's a name that history has half forgotten and shouldn't have. When Infiniti launched in 1990, the Q45 was the brand's statement of intent. This was the car they sent directly against the Lexus LS400, the BMW 7 Series, and the Mercedes-Benz S-Class, and the engineering behind it was genuinely impressive. The VH45DE 4.5-liter V8 is a 32-valve, twin-cam engine that made 278 horsepower when 278 horsepower from a naturally aspirated V8 was genuinely impressive. Nissan built this engine with the precision and material quality that a flagship application demanded. The architecture was conservative enough to age well. No complex variable displacement systems, no turbocharging, no timing belt that becomes a high-mileage liability. Just a large, smooth, properly built V8, operating well below its mechanical limits in normal use. The 1st Gen Q45's chassis was also sophisticated for its era. Multi-link suspension at all 4 corners, a weight distribution that gave it handling composure that rivaled the Europeans it was targeting. Infiniti was genuinely trying with this car, and it shows in every major review from the period. What the Q45 never fully recovered from was a marketing campaign that launched it without showing the actual car, an early and costly lesson in brand building that Infiniti paid for in sales. The product itself was excellent, the rollout was not. Today, well-maintained 1st Gen Q45 examples are genuinely rare finds. Those who locate them report powertrain durability that holds up alongside any V8 luxury sedan of the era. The forums for these cars are small, but deeply knowledgeable communities, exactly the kind of ownership base that keeps vehicles alive far past the point where lesser cars would have been crushed. Number 2. Acura TL, 3rd generation. An honest case can be made without reservation that the 3rd generation Acura TL represents the finest execution of a Japanese near-luxury sports sedan in automotive history. That's a large claim. The data behind it is equally large. Honda's J32A3 3.2-liter V6 is a high-revving, precisely machined engine that carries Honda's obsessive manufacturing standards into every tolerance and clearance specification. Mechanics who examine these engines at 180,000 and 200,000 miles on a compression test frequently describe results that look indistinguishable from a new unit. That's not typical behavior. That's the result of an engine operating significantly below its thermal and mechanical limits in normal daily use. The 3rd Gen TL's transmission pairing a 5-speed automatic with sequential sport shift, alongside an optional 6-speed manual, has documented its durability across hundreds of thousands of owner miles. The common forum advice for these transmissions is simple: fluid changes on schedule, and they'll outlast everything else on the car. Consumer Reports has consistently flagged this generation as among the most reliable luxury sedans of its production era, and the used market reflects that reality clean examples hold value in a way that 2-decade-old near-luxury sedans almost never do, because buyers who know these cars are unwilling to let them go at depreciated prices. The interior is the element that genuinely surprised journalists in 2004. Premium materials, honest leather, a dashboard layout that made clear Acura had paid attention to every detail. 15 years later, well-maintained TL interiors still look like they belong in a vehicle worth having. That's the reliability story beyond the powertrain. A car that still feels worth owning at 200,000 miles is a car that gets maintained, and a car that gets maintained is a car that survives. Number 1. Lexus LS400 first and second generation. Nobody is surprised, and that's the entire point. When Lexus unveiled the LS400 at the 1989 North American International Auto Show, the automotive world paused. This was a $35,000 Japanese sedan engineered to tolerances the German flagship manufacturers hadn't attempted at that price. Toyota had reportedly invested over $1 billion in its development, a figure that, for a single model launch in that era, bordered on irrational until you drove the car. Car and Driver compared it directly to the Mercedes 420 SEL and called the Lexus's fit and finish superior. By 1992, J.D. Power named it the most problem-free vehicle in their initial quality study, and Lexus went on to hold the top ranking in J.D. Power's Vehicle Dependability Survey for 15 consecutive years. And then, for 3.5 decades, owners kept proving that the initial assessment was warranted. The 1UZ-FE 4-liter V8 is discussed in automotive circles the way certain precision instruments are discussed by craftsmen, with respect that borders on reverence, and with data that demands it. Toyota engineered this engine with oversized oil passages, a cooling system calibrated well above the application's demands, and internal tolerances machined to a standard that was exceptional in 1990 and remains impressive today. The result is an engine that, in documented real-world ownership, simply doesn't show the wear patterns that mileage would predict. Verified examples with 500,000 miles on original drivetrains exist, multiple of them. Mechanics who inspect high-mileage 1UZ-FE engines describe finding internal conditions inconsistent with the odometer reading. The engine doesn't wear the way other engines wear because it was never working as hard as other engines work. IC Cars longevity data places the LS400 among the highest percentages of any luxury sedan still in active daily service at 200,000 miles, a 23.1% predicted chance of reaching that threshold. For a car now 26 to 36 years old, that's not a data footnote, that's a legacy built one unmissed oil change at a time. The LS400 owner community online has a tone unlike any other. They're not impressed that their car is still running. They expect it to be running. They're comparing fluid brands at 350,000 miles. They're debating suspension service strategies for cars approaching 400,000. The baseline assumption in these forums is not whether the car will survive. It's how to optimize the experience of a car they fully expect to outlive them. If there is a single sedan you can buy today, maintain with discipline, and hand to your children still in full working order, this is that car. The LS400 doesn't just lead this list. By every meaningful measure across 3.5 decades of documented ownership data, it is the most reliable luxury sedan ever produced by any manufacturer, from any country, at any price. And that's your list. 10 Japanese sedans, 10 different brands, all built with the kind of engineering conviction that turns a car purchase into a decades-long relationship. Buy any one of these with a clean, documented service history. Maintain it the way the engineers intended, and you're not buying a car. You're buying the last vehicle you'll ever need to buy. Hit subscribe if you want data-driven breakdowns like this every single week, and drop a comment below. Which one do you own? Or which one just moved to the top of your list? Let me know.